We are 4 minutes away from our destination here in Kentucky. We just crossed over the Ohio River a few minutes ago. Our plan is to go get checked into our cabin and probably unload a little bit of the stuff out of our truck. We don't need everything for right now. We're gonna hit Casey's for some pizza for lunch and ice for the cooler. Then we're gonna head out and do a little bit of scouting. We're looking for beans that are not yellow yet, which most of the beans we've seen are yellow. So we're looking for green beans or green fields to hunt for tonight. We may consider going looking for some acorns, hang a stand for tomorrow morning, but we'll see. It is 95 degrees outside. It feels really good in this air-conditioned truck right now, I'm not gonna lie. It's a bit of a shock to the system when we get out. So hopefully we don't die of heat stroke and we can kill a deer. And hopefully this guy in front of me can actually turn so I can get around him. That's all I got. To the cabins we go.
I feel like Kentucky is just like Wisconsin with a little bit less cheese.
We got acorns falling right over my shoulder here. I got a feeling it's probably raining acorns in these woods, but basically Justin and I just walked in, and this is a field that Justin and Cody and I checked out. I think it was last March that we were in here, and what we wanted to do is try and find some green beans, and they're definitely in here. There's a lot of beans. It's a little bit overgrown. It looks like they got in here late to spray them, but there's 3 little ponds sprinkled into the bottoms of this bean field. So what we're essentially going to try and do is set up on the west edge of these fields with a southwest wind, and we're going to just space out as much as we can so that we can cover as much ground as possible and just use our eyes to see if we can't pick up on a couple of deer that are popping out into this field tonight. So we got to get back, go get some showers, get dressed, come back, and get our stuff in the tree. We'll see you guys then. Zara and I are in the truck heading out. We're both wearing basketball shorts.
No, these are not basketball shorts.
And t-shirts.
These are more like a hybrid type short. That's what I'm wearing.
The truck says 95 degrees, and we're having a discussion around how this may not be the smartest decision that we've ever made, but I guess that remains to be seen.
I went on to say that I've made a lot of poor decisions in my life. This is just one of many in a long line of bad decisions that I've made. I'd like to go on record by saying this is unquestionably the hottest weather I've ever hunted in. 95 degrees currently.
It's too hot for this nonsense. Does it feel good?
Freaking hot. You can't tell if it's like the spray on me or if it's my sweat.
How many pounds are you carrying, Czar?
Including my fat gut, 250. I almost forgot my camera arm. That would suck. Alright, night number 1, here we go. We got company in the parking lot. He's probably doing the same thing we're doing. So we're gonna see if we can find this guy. When we get back in there, we're gonna bro out and set up right by him. Cause hey, public land.
I can't get my camel pack to work. I'm already dying of dehydration.
Yeah, I didn't put my pack on. Miller's already dragging behind. Sometimes doing 150 floors on the stair machine 4 times a week seems dumb until now. Take that, suckers. Alright, I'm going way back to that field back there. Oh man, alright, well, I found the spot I want to be, but unfortunately all these trees are just too big for me to get in. But giant oak trees. I think there's some acorns coming down in here, so it looks like there's a good amount of deer sign. Problem is, that guy that's back here is hunting right in front of me. He's right in the middle of the field, set up in one of those ghost blinds. Literally right in the middle of the field that I want to be hunting. So I'm gonna sneak back out of here and try to get down around this side of the pond and just set up down here so I'm away from him. So I'm gonna get moving. Well, definitely running late. It's about 4:15. Finally found a tree here that doesn't have too much poison ivy in it. I
don't know what it is in Kentucky. You guys got poison ivy everywhere, but I'm on the west side of this bean field. We got pretty much a west-southwest wind, so it's blowing straight from me into this tree line that's right over my shoulder into that bean field. And this is the side that's going to get shade first, so I would anticipate if they're going to come into the field, it might be from this side just to get out of that direct sun. I thought last year in Wisconsin was bad. This takes the cake, baby. 95 freaking degrees out here. Run and gun, but gotta do what you gotta do. So I found a spot right here. Not very high off the ground, but it looks like somebody had a stand here in the past. It's a great spot because all the beans right in front of this are just mowed down. Check this out. So I got a pond right up over this hill. The wind is coming this way. So anything that wants to get a drink down from that pond, work up this way. It's gonna be shady down here where they can feed right close. We should have a chip shot at them, so I gotta get my stand up there and get cooled off, so here goes nothing. Man, the first hunt of the year is always a disaster. The good news is I didn't forget anything at all, so I got all my gear. I got up the tree, settled, stand hung, everything. Probably 15 to 20 minutes, so not too bad considering I haven't been in a tree in an awful long time. I mentioned when I was down there before I got the stand hung that they did a bunch of timber stand improvement right here. There's a bunch of fingers that go down through here. I could absolutely see this being used as bedding cover. And these deer kind of working their way up through. Basically all they left here was a bunch of white oaks, and that's what I'm sitting in right now. I've got a beautiful logging road that comes right up to my left-hand side, and then I can see for a heck of a ways up over here, and the field's right up behind me, so. All right, well, nothing since those two deer popped out over there. Of course, I can't really see much, but I don't know where they went. I think they went over the hill towards that pond. Matt saw one doe, so he's seen 3 deer between the two of us, which I suppose isn't terrible, but not great either. I've been sitting here trying to figure out where the nearest Walmart is so we can go buy some poison ivy scrub, because this tree is literally covered in poison ivy. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, why I didn't recognize it. My God.
I am not your forefathers' broadhead. I am 4 ultra-sharp blades of blistering precision. I am 3 devastating inches of cutting trauma. I am a 100-grain testament to American ingenuity. I am a bulletproof storm of unleashed fury. I am the Spitfire double-cross, and failure is not an option. NAP. Hunt with confidence.
Day number 2, we're back in the same spot we hunted last night. Ran into a nice fella from Louisiana on our way out last night who's hunted here a couple times in the field. He's the guy that I saw in the blind out in the field. He was kind of throwing a Hail Mary on his last night. He's been seeing a good buck come out in the back of this field, which is where I wanted to go last night. But he was obviously there before I was. So in any case, Matt and I are heading in now. It's morning. We're trying to get this done before it gets too hot today. It's supposed to be a few degrees cooler than it was yesterday, but not a whole lot. So we're heading in now. We got stands and sticks and all of our gear. We're gonna try to find our trees and get everything set up for the evening hunt now. All right, stand number 1 is in. Matt's gonna set up 60, 100 yards down this tree line from me. And if something comes out and it's too far for me to shoot, it may work up over the hill where Matt's gonna be, so that's the thought process anyways. Or if something gets in between us and it smells me, maybe it'll just run over by Matt and he can kill it, so. Either which way, let's go hang another stand. Obviously somebody had a stand here before and they got in trouble from the DNR. confiscated their stand. Left them a little note, but I don't think they ever called. All right, so plan C worked out. We came to the other end. Down here, we found some beans that are absolutely annihilated. We got a nice clean tree. It looks like somebody's hunted out of it before, because we had a couple branches clipped off at about stand height, which is okay with us. Makes our lives easier, so we're gonna hurry up and get set up and get out of here. Those are two pretty good arrows, I would say. All right, so far our plan has worked. We've been camped out here in this parking lot, kind of shooting our bows and just hanging out. Had 2 different trucks, 4 total people come down here looking to go back in those fields tonight, but when they found out we were going to be in there, they left. We didn't hold back any intel. I mean, we told them what's going on, what we're doing, told them where we're going to be sitting at. So I mean, gave them some options. If it's more than big enough for couple people to get back there, but you know what, this is a big place and they decided to go find somewhere else to sit, so their loss, our gain. I am going to go on record by saying this is the hottest I've ever been in my entire life. Every single part of my body is sweating right now. It is so disgusting out here. I have no idea why we're doing this. But here we are. Man, this sun is brutal. I've probably got another full hour of this sun being directly on me before it goes down, but kind of is what it is. So I'm on this little pinch where this big bean field pinches right down. It's pretty narrow right here. The beans are just absolutely demolished out in front of me. You can tell the deer have been all over them. So I'm thinking the deer are bedding behind the camera or down over this hill towards the river. And the wind is almost wrong, but not quite. So it's kind of, I suspect the deer movement to come from there. The wind is kind of quartering this way, and it's getting sucked right down this hollow behind me. So hopefully that sun sets here soon, gives me a little bit of shade so I can cool down. It's brutal. It's probably low to mid 90s right now. It's about 20 after 6. Saw my first deer at about 6:30 last night, so hoping, fingers crossed, very soon we start seeing some deer trickle in this field. I'm finally cooled down. It only took about 2 hours. I'm finally not sweating. Now it's time to kill a deer. Just about out of light. I've got another donut on right up behind the camera here. So I gotta be kind of quiet, but the 4 deer tonight, I couldn't get a bunch of them on because they were in all that thick stuff and I just couldn't get the camera on them. This is definitely a game right now in the last 10 minutes. So I'm gonna pack everything up. Probably leave the stand in here, but pack everything else out. And not sure what we're gonna do tomorrow, so. Back in the cabin now, and we are getting rehydrated with some water, eating some Casey's pizza. Just wanted to give you the recap of the night. Ended up being a real good night for me. I think I saw 8 deer. I had that fawn come out early, and then after that it was like a doe parade. Just had a ton of does coming into that field that last couple minutes of light, and then sure enough, a nice buck showed up. I don't know if it was at or past legal shooting light at that point. I had to crank the camera all the way up just to get some footage of him. I know it's not the best, but you can see the deer. He's a respectable 8-pointer, definitely a deer I would shoot. So the plan is to go right back in there tomorrow night, see if I can get on him. Well, here we go, last day. Hail Mary's coming up. So because my gear is probably severely stunk up at this point, we've been spraying down and everything, but man, it's been so hot it's impossible to keep scent off your gear. We're gonna ozone it up real quick before we go out. So got our little scent slammer unit. Turn this bad boy on. She's going. Drop her in. Shut the lid. Give this thing about 5 minutes is really all it needs, in my opinion. This thing puts out a lot of ozone. It's gonna fill this whole tub with it. Should help deodorize everything, keep the stank down, and then we'll get dressed and head out. We need some good karma for tonight. And don't get me wrong, guys, it's freaking hot today. But dude, this is a cakewalk compared to what we dealt with the last 2 days.
It still sucks.
Dude, I'm not saying it doesn't suck, because I'm sweating in places that should not sweat. Wait for a little wind to kick up. I'll take that all day, because he's coming out in that corner. But that's kind of what I was hoping. It's going to go down this point. And if he's bedded on the other side of that point and he's coming out up there, we should be good, because he's feeling like he's walking right into the wind going into that field. Alright, this is it, guys. Last night in Kentucky, Hail Mary. We're taking a crack at that buck that I saw last night. He came out down in this corner. We knew that the wind was going to switch for today to be at like a northeast. And it is kind of northeast, but luckily it's staying exactly where we need it to be, so that he potentially will not wind us if he comes out in that same spot last night, or really anywhere along that tree line and works up into this field. I got a pretty clear 40-yard shot at a pretty big area, so if he comes anywhere within 40, we should be good. So a bunch of does in here last night. I don't know. It's much cooler tonight. As you can tell, I'm not dying. I mean, it's still hot. It's in the 80s, but it's in the low 80s. We're in the shade. We got a nice breeze, so it's about as good as it's gonna get. Rector just killed a nice mule deer today. Crab sauce shooter on his feet real early. So, I don't know. Maybe today is a good day. We'll kill something. But even if we don't kill, we've got great camaraderie. It's been a fun trip. We always have a good time on these trips. We eat a lot of Casey's pizza, drink a lot of coffee, have a lot of laughs, do a lot of walking, not a lot of killing. It's kind of become par for the course. And I'm gonna eat my nut butter. This is the best. It's the honey cinnamon peanut butter. Nice. It is so damn delicious. Well guys, looks like our Kentucky adventure is gonna come to an end with no tags filled. I don't know what happened tonight, man. Conditions were perfect. Temperature drop, high pressure, wind was right. We didn't even see one deer tonight. We had one sneak in behind us a couple minutes ago. There's no wind right now, so because it's cooling, the thermals are just dropping straight down behind the stand. And that deer picked us off and ran that way and blew a couple times, so I don't know. Everything was set to have a good night, but nothing showed up, so what are you gonna do? That's hunting, so That's it for Kentucky. We're gonna tear down. We got a mile walk back to the truck. We're gonna head home tomorrow and regroup. We got about 2 weeks till Illinois opens up. Then it's time to get after it, so. Next time you see us hunting, we'll be in Illinois or Iowa, one of the two. Guys from Louisiana texted me. He's like, y'all make it in? And I'm like, nobody told us it was gonna be hot. They're like, this is just another day, and
Dude, that Florida guy wasn't even sweating, I don't think.
we're just standing there pumping gas and we're sweating. What's wrong? What's wrong with you boys?